Hello, beautiful people. Mic check, mic check. How we doing? How we doing out there? Shout out to everybody who's watching. Hit that like button. Shout out to Island Girl Jam Down who can't stay but already hit us up with a $10 super chat. Appreciate you, fam. If you're still there and you want to weigh in on which topic to pick, you sure can as a starting point. How are y'all doing? Shout out to everybody who's watching. Hit the like button. Shout out to all of the subscribers and the members here on YouTube. Shout out to all the members on Patreon. Shout out to all of the supporters on Substack. Shout out to the best mod squad on the internet. If you're going to be chatting with us today, make sure you change your chat settings from top chat to live chat so you can catch all the good foolishness. If you don't feel like chatting but want to say, a little wave, little heart, love that. Love that. We're going to start today with an unboxing. I've got gloves on, so some of you know what that means. Some of you are like, oh, I know what this is. This is the second edition of Bloodlines and Battle Rhymes. QR code. Okay, that's box number 1. Box number 2. I don't know what the difference is, but I know there is a difference in these books. This is the hardcover. I was hoping that one of these boxes had the mock-up of Exhibit A, but no. Trying to remember. I'll have to sort this out later with the differences in these books. Move, boy. Move. All right. Yes. I'm still waiting for so anyway, once I go through those and make sure that they're good, the book will become available in the bookstore again, regular price. So that's fantastic. And then if you ordered a single second edition Bloodlines, and these are good, when again, like I said, once I go through them, make sure everything is working, I should be able to get those ordered to send to me for signature soon. So let's hope that goes well. I'm waiting for the mock-up of Exhibit A so that I can make sure that so far so good, so that the only thing I have left is the last little bit to slip in. And then I'm also waiting for the Amazon book version of it's got to be Bloodlines. Yeah, it's Bloodlines. Which will be sold separate from everything else. I want to put the book on Amazon because um I know I'm the first person to write a full-fledged book on the battle on the great battle of 2024, and it's a legitimate book. It has an ISBN. It is legitimately copywritten, all of those things. And so, yeah, I wanna, put my little footprint down there in that mass distribution of not just Amazon books, but everywhere, Barnes and Nobles, anywhere you can get a book. The book will be available so that history will reflect that a Black woman did that, did it first, did it first and second, as a matter of fact. Turn this off. But you'll never have to buy the book from Amazon. I will only ever share the links to the Lulu bookstore because that's where you can get the book for a reasonable price. The Amazon price is selected for me based on how much it costs to make the book and print the book. And that's much, much higher. So I don't care if I ever sell a book in any of those main distribution, national bookstores. I really don't care. It's literally yep, this book is here. It exists. It was first. It is legitimate. But I will continue to only share links to the Lulu bookstore. Seymour's bet. Thank you, beautiful. Appreciate you. So, yeah, there is some rewriting in the second edition. QR codes are added as well. So, yeah. I do sign the books with a very special pen. I have a couple pens that were my dad's pens. And so when I have to sign a significant thing, whether it's a business significant thing or a heartfelt significant thing, I always sign it with my dad's pens. That is much harder than just a straight ebook. And I'm already working on the second version of the ebook, which literally just launched. The first version of the ebook just launched. So it's on the list. It's down pretty far. I'll be perfectly honest with you. It's down pretty far. So thank you to everybody who has purchased a book. Thank you to everybody who has submitted an order for pre-sale for signed books for the second edition and signed books for Exhibit A. Mods, if you would drop the link, that would be great. If you're a member on Patreon or YouTube at the paid level, you have a discount code in your membership area. Scroll your timeline in your membership area in the post area, and you'll find for single books, there's a discount code for and then there's bundles as well. If you haven't gotten any books yet and you want both of the books, there's bundles where since you're bundling them together, you're getting them at a discounted price. Okay, well, that's my little sales pitch. That's my little sales pitch. All right. Well, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We've got interesting topics happening out there in the world. We have a super chat goal happening over the next hour. If anybody wants to get that kicked off and pick our first topic of the illustrious people you see here to the side of me, you go ahead and feel free to do that. Or I'm happy to pick and get us started for you, whichever you want. I'll give you a few seconds for somebody if they want to hop in and say, start here. Happy to do that. Hopefully nothing has changed since 6 o'clock this morning when I put all this together. Oh, I know one of the things I need to grab. Fair. Yeah, I don't know what you did. I don't know. I have no explanation. They don't tell me nothing. Anybody? Nobody? No takers? All right. Let's start with the easy one. Joseph Naughtybottoms is upset. Oh, thank you, old school Gemini. Mind meld. Your pick, Absa. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Ah, Joseph. Joseph is upset. Joy's album has been held back. It's been held back. Yes. The rest of the class, they were allowed to move forward to the next level. Joseph Naughtybottoms has been held back. Yes, he has. Mm, 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 mm. I didn't even know that he had one coming. But I try not to pay attention to him. So there's that. But he went on social media and on a live, which is not a good business practice. I just want to say, have some discretion, okay? Have some discretion. Good Lord. Where's the thing? Got so many damn channels in the Discord now, and I can't read that tiny little rat. And Joey Badass recently went live on Instagram and revealed that his upcoming album, I don't know what it's called, originally scheduled for release this Friday. Really? Y'all didn't tell me. I didn't have an outfit planned or nothing. That's 2 days away. Did we know? Did we know? Was there a rollout? All right, we didn't know. D2B2, thank you for the $5, beautiful. People wanted to deem him the winner. That is laughable. This doesn't look like the trajectory of a rap battle winner to me. Quite observant of you, sir. Quite observant. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. You know, it's funny. I was wondering to myself, nobody said anything about, and I didn't watch it, but I knew that it happened. So I don't know if he like sat on the couch, talked about the album. I don't know. I knew that he performed. And I remember thinking to myself, amongst the other performances that were happening and the things that were dropping at the time, I remember thinking to myself, well, this is an interesting choice of right now. Like right now? Why? Okay, you know, I'm not gonna watch it, so I don't really care. But that a week ahead for Joseph Naughtybottoms is not enough time of a promo, but it must have been scheduled and he said, "Imma do it." So that was a new song in that performance? You know what? This makes what I said accurate. This makes what I said at the time accurate, which was go hang off of somebody else's cape. So what you're saying is the label didn't really invest in a rollout for you. So you thought, well, I'll just leech onto somebody with actual reach out there in the culture and a media presence that just won't go away. And that's how I'll roll out my album. And oh. You weren't even worth getting chipped by a throwaway, Joseph. Naughtybottoms. Does he have a middle name? Well, who is surprised? I'm not surprised. Who is surprised? I'm not surprised. Here's the problem. You signed the contract. You're not guaranteed a release when you want to release. You're not guaranteed a release when they say you're going to get a release. That's why you're on Instagram or wherever he was bitching about it publicly because you have no actual power to do anything about it. And they don't care that you went on Insta. Don't get dropped in the process. Can you pull eclipse? Pay for that? Bounce? What's the matter? Better sign a commercial deal. Sell a watch. Do something. Midnight Snack says that album will probably slide out undetectable. Cause so then I started thinking about timing, and I think that this is why he is legitimately concerned. Okay. Because this is his quarter. He has to do this push play, try and apply pressure to get it out because this is his quarter. Because who's coming, who's dropping in the fourth quarter? Because if they're really good, they can impact the first quarter of the next year, not just they can cover losses for quarters 1, 2, and 3 of the year. This is what fourth quarter drops do for a record label of major artists who run numbers. Fourth quarter drops help cover any losses that may have happened throughout the earlier part of the year. And if they're really good, they carry you over into the next year. So he knows, he's got to know. He's a grown man. He has to be thinking, am I fourth quarter good enough? Because if they don't think I'm third quarter good enough, winter wraps, be careful. GNX. You can drop it at any part of the year and it goes in both directions. It goes to the past It goes to the future, and like you said, it comes back around again the next year. I think he can, message some people directly for that. Again, here becomes the problem, discretion. Discretion becomes the problem. On the one hand, he feels like, "I need to do this. I need to speak. I need to do," but other people now see you doing that. I don't wanna work with a single solitary person, not a single person. I do not want to ever in my life, ever, ever, ever work with a person who has a dispute with me and takes it to the internet. Ever. Period. And if that's the play that you decide, then you burn that bridge at both ends while you were standing in the middle of it. Don't even breathe in this direction until the day that you die, because absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm old school. I will not do that. It is completely unprofessional. I don't like to see it when people do it in relationships. I don't like to see it when people do it in business. None of that. Period. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. This is a fourth quarter drop. This is it can cover a bit of a spread. He's worried about going up against a girl. Yeah. Yeah, he's worried about going up against a girl. I love this. The fall off is a lifestyle. That's a bar. That's a bar.
High five. I'm bulletproof.
Proximity, sequencing, as we always talk about here. Sequencing, beloved, sequencing, timing, timing, timing. Now you're gonna have to go fight with little septic tank or something. I don't know. You're gonna have to trump up something else to get people's attention, because that's not a rollout. The beef and then a one-off, you know, performance on late night is not a rollout. So, unfortunate situation, but I don't feel bad for him, actually. I don't feel like, "Ooh, good," but I don't feel bad for him. You a grown ass man, dog. And this is when you reveal yourself, and then if you up in raps talking shit about somebody, 5 days from now, I'm not gonna believe a word of it. I'm not gonna believe that persona, because this is actually who you are. You don't have enough discretion and self-restraint and strategy prowess to do something else. You want to talk about it? Be about it, bro. So, yeah, he's worried about going up against a girl. Mm, yeah, yeah. And anybody else. So, I think it's hilarious. I'm looking at the comments on the screen of his live, and one of the comments is, "Ray Vaughn smoked you." Another comment, "Appreciate the transparency." Another comment, "Bro, you got married. You're a father now." Oh, absolutely. Money Cardi. I agree. It was a lazy strategy, but I can see him using anything trying to make something shake if he has been having these issues for years. It's unfortunate for sure. Yeah. But, unfortunately, when it comes to working with a music label, you can't just say, "I'm the king of New York." You have to undeniably be recognized. And you can only get that through talent. And what this shows is that, the little fracas, beef feels, too strong of a word. The little fracas that he had, the little rap fracas, uh, did not have any lasting power. Flash in a pan. It didn't actually change anything. It did not change their perception of his ability to command numbers. So you can wait. We've got other things to deal with and focus on. And you're not a priority because you're not undeniable. They're not really looking for you in New York, and they're definitely not looking for you coast to coast. Not like that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. The hip hop brouhaha. Exactly. Right. Right. Yeah. He went online, designed the t-shirt himself, paid for it himself, had it shipped to him, and then put it on. King of New York. That's not how it works. Well, he better get his headshots together and go audition for something. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm on this live right now working to pay off a docket bill. So I have no sympathy whatsoever. Find a way. Shit. Diversify. Hello there, beautiful. Welcome. Yes. Been there too. Yes, this is the bottom line. Not being funny. They are looking for number breaker. Kendrick and SZA are breaking numbers and making history. You have to be undeniable in the numbers, and you are deniable in the numbers. Because if the math was mathing, they would have dropped that shit. He said it's been done. They would have dropped it. I'm sure he was lobbying hard for them to drop it when he was in his little, you know, thumb war. I honestly can't even remember who it was he was going up against. So, the doubt is very reasonable. This is extremely reasonable. It is extremely reasonable. So, and then the other thing is, if they don't, there are two things that need to align. And one of them might be more important than the other. I'll let you decide. There's being undeniable when you look at the spreadsheets, and there's also being liked in your label. By the people who are responsible for you, and also who are the people that are responsible for you. And do they actually have any systemic power in the broader organization? Because there's a pecking order there as well. But if you are juvenile or annoying or tedious over years, this has been going on for years, bro. Yeah, there's two sides to every obnoxious story. There's two sides to every obnoxious story. But being likable and liked can get you favor that even numerical undeniability might not get you, depending on what else is going on business-wise. And I just don't get that from this dude. So, okay. See? We are deciphered. Doesn't make it any better that he didn't clear them. Well, 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 well. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, don't get dropped, as I said before. Don't get dropped. So you're being a headache. You're a headache. You are a headache for some AA level executive. Not A's, AA. They way down the line. They 27 down the line. Who gets an alert on their phone while they're minding their good goddamn business on their personal time they've clocked out for the day that you've dropped something. Oh, have you? Oh, have you? They gave me the lowest salary possible. I can't even get overtime for this shit. This is just my job. This is just my job. I gotta go listen to this shit. Now people are texting me who are more important than me because they want answers, and fuck. Just giving people a headache. Just giving people a headache for no good goddamn reason. So that's the that on that. That's the that on that. I'm trying to see. Let's go in order of stupidity. There we go. We're going to go in order of stupidity. From Joseph Naughtybottoms to Daystar Peterson. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's good news. It's petty, but it's good. Um, as many of you already know, Megan the Stallion is suing Milagro Grams, a blogger and alleged mouthpiece for Tory Lanez as he rots and gets stabbed in jail. So she's suing her in federal court. It's been a whole saga. Recently, Megan was just awarded $5,000 sanctions against Milagro Grams for discovery foolishness. So they motioned for sanctions and said, we want her to pay our attorney's fees for us having to deal with this cluster bleep. And the judge said, yeah, no problem. Add that up. And they said, well, it was $5,000. And the judge said, so ordered, 30 days to pay it. And just as an aside, this is why the situation in the Rodney O, case is problematic for them, because they are on the brink of getting hit with probably more sanctions than that. And what I said was that sanctions are different than just some bill you can ignore. When a judge issues sanctions, they come with a deadline. And if you don't adhere to those sanctions, you don't meet those sanctions by that deadline, the judge comes back with, guess what? More sanctions. So Milagro Grams has 30 days to pay $5,000 in attorney's fees for some biscuit headassery that she's been up to over on that case. But then something else popped up onto the docket, I think last night. Last night. Also, if you hear something that sounds like a tornado, all of a sudden, it's a fighter jet. It's that week here in Seattle. So if you hear it, that means it penetrated all of the things I've got set on the microphone. And if you don't see me react to it and you're like, oh my God, the building is about to fall apart around her, it's probably not. It's probably not, but that's what it is. We talked some time ago about Megan the Stallion having a deposition with Daystar Peterson in this case. And I have the transcript because it was attached to a motion very shortly thereafter that said this man needs to be found in contempt of court for refusing to participate in, these proceedings. He acted like a whole asshole during this deposition. And so they said, yeah, we want him found in contempt of court. There's a whole lengthy process. They file their motion, he gets to respond. They do the whole back and forth. And then the judge, says, show cause or don't show cause of why you refuse to participate in this deposition and answer the questions. And then there's a whole 90-day waiting period and blah, 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 blah. The 90-day waiting period's over. Thank you, Goldie. Appreciate you. So this will be quick. This isn't anything we really need to talk about. I'm just going to provide you with an update. And it's very brief. Very brief document. So I just told you the history, so I don't need to read that part. Okay. Mr. Peterson failed to respond to the order by the judge. Show cause, explain why you didn't, answer the damn questions. No reply was ever filed. The issue was then fully briefed once the deadline passed on April 30th without a response from Mr. Peterson. No hearing has been scheduled or had on the matter. Accordingly, it has been 90 days since the court's order to show cause was fully briefed, requiring this notice to be filed pursuant to the local rules. Plaintiff respectfully requests that the court enter an order granting the relief requested in the original motion for contempt as follows. 1, an order sanctioning Mr. Peterson for his misconduct by requiring him to pay the fees of plaintiff's counsel time in taking volume 1 of his deposition. 2, appoint a special master to supervise the remainder of Mr. Peterson's deposition to be paid for at his expense. And 3, authorize as much additional time as necessary to take an effective deposition or hold a hearing on the matter at the court's earliest convenience. So she's going for attorney's fees, round 2, but this time with Daystar Biscuit Head. And she wants a special master appointed, which is an overseer of the situation, basically. A court adjacent overseer of the situation. So she wants that, and she wants him forced to pay for it. And then she wants an extension of time in order to get his deposition. So I would imagine that that's not going to be hard for the judge to say yes to, or maybe they will, have a hearing on the matter. But I think one of the things that's really interesting is that if he loses this and he's fined a bunch of money, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that. I'm, adding on this just because I'm the judge and I can, and you're an arrogant dick. What he doesn't realize probably is that the first and fastest entity that can go into your bank account and take your money away from you without you being the wiser, it's just gone, is the federal court system. It's not like they're going to sit and wait for him to write a check and sign it to pay these fees. They're just going to take his money. Where's his money held? Court order to that institution. Give us his money. So if it's 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, whatever, cash, they just gonna take it. And Tory Lanez ain't got that much money. So you should have just answered the damn questions. Yeah, do it again, see what happens. Go ahead, do it again, see what happens. You'll go through the exact same process. They'll take more money, and any other fines and fees that the judge can assign will be doubled. They just gonna take your money. You dumb ass. And you deserve it. Thank you for that reminder. That's right. He needs to go ask his granddaddy. Go ask your granddaddy 50 shillings for some pence. Go do that. I love it for him too. So that's it. Quickest update. Quickest update. So we have 2 pardon situations left. Let y'all decide which one you want to start with. We got Helene Maxwell. That has developed in the last 28 hours. And then we got breaking news as of last night. Diddy, which one you want to start with? Judges hate contempt of court. Yes. Yes. There are judges who will be like, I'm going to fine you $100 a day for non-compliance. And after 1 week, the fee doubles exponentially. After 3, there are judges who will be like, oh, you want to fuck around. Okay. Well, since everything has been determined, it is my discretion. Mm-hmm. $1,000, $10,000. It's proportional to the subject who's being fined. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you're expected to resolve your non-compliance immediately. You're expected to make it your top fucking priority. Your top fucking priority once you're found in non-compliance. So the judge wants you to motivate you to fix your shit quick, fast, in a hurry. So if you are a millionaire, then you're going to receive a proportional dollar amount because they want you to feel it. I've seen teachers go on strike in places where it's illegal, and judges say the fine the fine for defying this court order to go back to work because your strike is illegal is $1,000 a day. And unions are like, all right, we're having a vote 6:00 tonight for reconsideration. The teachers are like, how much? I'm sorry, what? They want to motivate you. Resolve it now. It's brutal. You don't want to be found in contempt of court. He's lucky he's already in jail. Because that can come onto the table too. Young Thug's lawyer going to jail was a real possibility. You see journalists who say, I'm not giving up information, go to jail. The only reason Young Thug's lawyer didn't go to jail is because national legal entities jumped onto the docket and intervened. And that must have been the moment when the judge was like, oh, oh, other people. Right. Shit. That wasn't a bluff. He was going to throw him in jail. But that judge was in such a vacuum with such blinders on. He was not thinking about the rest of the legal field and legal profession and various entities that will step in. You had judges, you had, bar associations of this and da 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 da. Like they were getting ready to go to the international court system because what? You, judge, did something you weren't supposed to do and you got called out for it appropriately on the record in court, and then you tried to jail a motherfucker? That is a human rights violation, let alone unethical and a violation of that person's civil rights. Just bar none, that is a human rights violation. But judges don't play. You don't ever want to be found in contempt of court. Unless you black and broke and you just be like, staple this shit to my credit report. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not going to do it. I definitely had one situation a couple years ago where there was a client problem happening at an entity where the leadership had split between good and evil. And evil had access to a lot of things, but didn't have full key code access. And us consultants did. And I was like, bar none, I will go to jail. There's no way I'm giving them this information. Y'all better work it out. I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I will not. I will not. I will stand in front of a judge and say, respectfully, Your Honor, I decline. I completely understand the legal situation as it stands today, which will probably change in 5 days. I also know what you don't know, which is that these people are evil and they mean nothing but harm. And I'll do those days. I was so ready. So ready. And that is the last place that I want to be. But there are some things where you're like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. That will cause a greater harm. I'm not going to do that. And it's a public entity funded by the people. Taxpayer dollars? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving them access to that. No. But otherwise, I'm going to comply. Fortitude. That's what you call that. That's what you call that. You call that fortitude. The date of your compliance is determined by the judge. I mean, and precedent. But yeah, but they have a wide range of discretion to do a number of things. They'll jail you and give you a cumulative fine. While you're sitting in jail every day not complying with this, you're in jail and you're racking up a cash bill. This was the point in time where I actually started paying attention to the case. Like really paying attention. I was peripherally kind of like, that's what happened this week. But that is absolute, because it was like breaking news and like this shit just went down. And because it was broadcast live, then there's video. It's undeniable what happened. It's not somebody coming out of a closed courtroom being like, you're never going to believe what just happened. And then you got to run around and find, well, how can we get a transcript or what witnesses? It was live, broadcast live. Everybody saw it and then could rewind it. And then could rewind it and watch it again. It was a breathtaking moment. A breathtaking moment. And that lawyer knew that he was right. And sometimes you have to have that fortitude. And this is why when this is why I tell people don't resist arrest. Because it really doesn't matter if they're wrong. What matters is that you live. And if they're wrong, then we gonna work it out. But don't decide, I'm not going for this. You're gonna die. You have to have the fortitude and the calm to be like, okay, that's the decision that you've made here. Okay. And that was that attorney. The judge is absolutely wrong. The judge has absolutely done something that could get the judge referred for investigation, which was that he met with the prosecution outside of the presence of the defense. That is the biggest no-no. The biggest no-no. And he had the fortitude to be like, you can put me in jail. I'm not going to tell you who told me, but we're not having this testimony. You must be kidding. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you. Okay. We went back. Let's start with this fool. So last night, it was reported legitimately this time, not just his camp. We're talking to the White House and blah, 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 blah. But a legitimate, where is that article? There it is. A legitimate, he's really, really thinking about it, is heavily weighing. Donald Trump is heavily weighing giving Sean Diddy Combs a full presidential pardon before sentencing. So this is coming from the administration, from within the administration, so it's not touched. This is why it's credible reporting and why it went wide much faster than TMZ pieces, is because this originated from within the administration to Deadline. This did not come from anywhere having to do with Diddy's camp, because they just throw spaghetti at the wall. But no, this is from within the administration to Deadline. And whether it's true or not, who knows? As we discussed just yesterday, the other man throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping something fits is the gentleman over his shoulder, Donald. Yes, and his little tiny tangerines. Demetrius, thank you, beautiful. Good morning. It's all right. It's all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So I don't think it matters one way or another whether he's actually considering it or not considering it. I think what matters more is what we discussed yesterday, which is what is his motivation for considering it? And that is that he wants people talking about anything other than his BFF, Giuffre. Mhm. Yep. So if he, hasn't gotten up the gumption to, direct the Department of Justice to issue a search warrant for Barack Obama's whatever, because that would be an escalation. Since he hasn't gotten the tangerines to take a step like that, he's gone down to the D level of bait and switch and decided, well, maybe if I actually let somebody go, that'll distract him and get them all up in an outrage and this, that, and the other, and they'll be focused on that. Like I said, there is nothing that Donald can do that is going to get his base off of Epstein. Nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. And releasing Diddy is not going to help him with his base at all. At all. And there's no way that the media is going to talk about it without also talking about the fact that this is clearly a ploy to get it. It's just a pivot point in the conversation. It doesn't become the main thing. It just becomes a pivot point. There is nothing. Okay, there are things, but they're not at the D level. They're at a DEFCON level. So if he's not willing to pull a DEFCON sleight of hand to make people go just whiplash, you're looking in the other direction completely at something else completely, not related to celebrity at all. If he's not willing to do something like that, it's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. So I definitely lean into, he wants people chattering about this as if it's a legitimate distraction, because the other thing is he could have just done it. It doesn't make any sense This trial didn't even start until this president was in office. Why did you prosecute him if you were just going to pardon him? Does that mean he's not gonna do it? No, I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense. At any point along the way, I was one of the first people to say, as soon as he was reelected, "You know what case is gonna go away quick, fast, in a hurry? This one." I was stunned when and then attorneys started resigning from the Southern District of New York who worked on this case, but they assigned replacements. I watched it on the docket. I watched attorneys withdraw. I watched attorneys come onto the docket. I'm like, "Okay, well, they're replacing them with people. So they're not trying to bleed the case of of its resource, which is lawyers." And then we had a trial. The the matching point here where things come together is what he said was that he would consider giving Diddy a pardon if he had been treated unfairly. And Diddy's new motion for bail is 12 pages of the Mann Act has been applied unfairly. And that document just dropped. We went over it here. The day before this breaking news. His new request for bail is nothing but the Mann Act was unfairly applied to me in this case. This is why we pay attention to words. So I could easily see Donald saying, "Yes, it was unfair." Yes, and literally just watched it again over the weekend. Well, had it on in the background as I was dying upstairs, moving things around. Yes, wag the dog. So, sequencing, timing, where things converge. These are, Donald is not a mathematician. This is basic arithmetic, 1 + 1 = 2 type shit. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least bit based on those things if he actually does it, even though it makes no actual good goddamn sense whatsoever. Because in one way or another, his defense has been making this argument from day one. This is the strongest they've made it now that there's been a conviction. So again, if he was gonna do this because he doesn't want somebody to be treated unfairly, he, as president, could have directed before the trial even started, "Drop it." There was enough there. They've been arguing this and putting this on the record forever. But now, it's convenient timing. He thinks that this will actually work to his benefit more than it will work to the benefit of the person that's helping him. And that's the only reason why Donald helps people, is because what those people turn around and do for him. So, and if you have never seen Wag the Dog, you should watch it. It's an exceptional movie, and it puts the entire second Donald administration into good perspective. It's a good reminder. It's a good reminder. And in some spaces, they can. In some spaces, they can't. This COINTELPRO 2.0 is real. And it's easier than ever to find a turncoat. It's easier than ever because they volunteer, because they want that proximity. I know 50 shilling gotta be real upset. $50 gotta be real upset today because he's been lobbying hard. Don't let that motherfucker go. Don't let him go. So we'll see what happens. And if it does happen, we'll gather. We'll gather. I'm just so disgusted with Sean Combs as a human being. I don't really think there's anything that could ever change that. I've never really liked him. So there's that. But I am just purely disgusted with him as a human being, with how he has conducted himself throughout this situation. Jets. And the things that his attorneys had fixed their fingers in their mouths to say about women. So bitch touche on guard. How do you enforce compliance? It's a very binary, simple situation. You are either in the category of people the president is not coming for, or you are in the category of people the president is coming for because you have displeased him. That's the power that he exerts, and that's how he keeps people in compliance. Because when Donald Trump mentions your name in a negative connotation, the world follows up and makes your life a living hell. Other government agencies start prodding you, your history, your data, your businesses. Again, 1 + 1 = 2. A light touch or brute force? Which one do you want? Basically mid. That's a funny handle. Thank you for the $10 super chat supporting the Docket Fund. Thank you for your insight per usual. You're welcome. You're welcome, beautiful. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. So, he's the president of the United States. He, the people around him, the entities around him, his supporters can make your life an actual living hell. Spooky Ariel, thank you, beautiful, for the $10 super chat. I hope we don't have to gather for bad news. I hope so too. I can't stand him. I cannot stand him. It's so annoying. So, yeah. Yeah. And again, as I said, this is not the main story. This is just the pivot point for what he doesn't want people to be focusing on. But if he really didn't want people to be focusing on it, he should really fucking stop talking about it. I said this yesterday. He should really stop fucking talking about it. God, dude. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday very briefly at the end. We have a little bit more time today. And I'm glad because I've had a reconsideration. Having read some news this morning, I've had a reconsideration. I want to adjust something that I said yesterday. So, yesterday we talked about the fact that Helene Maxwell had been interviewed 2 days in a row by investigators from the Department of Justice. I do believe the Assistant US Attorney General was one of the people in the room interviewing her. And they gave her temporary immunity for those conversations. Afterwards, her lawyer said, we didn't ask for anything in exchange for these conversations, and they didn't promise us anything in exchange for these interviews, conversations, whatever. And what I said was, those words mean nothing. They're intended to suggest that there's no quid pro quo in these conversations, but they really mean nothing. We didn't ask for anything doesn't mean you didn't get anything. They didn't promise anything doesn't mean they didn't give you something or direct you on where to get it. So shockingly, 36 hours after or less than after she had met with the Department of Justice, she filed an emergency motion with the Supreme Court of the United States of America to get out of jail. What I said yesterday was, I think this is just a game. I think they're leading her on to get her to agree to these interviews and answer questions. She's too much of a liability out of jail. There's no way they're actually going to let her out of jail. And then this morning, early in the morning, when I'm reading my news, I went back and I was reading some articles about the interviews. And one of the headlines of the articles I read was something to the effect of DOJ asked Helene Maxwell about 100 people. And when I read that, my brain immediately shifted from she's too much of a liability out of prison to which 100 people did they ask about? Which 100 people did they ask about? Who compiled that list of 100 people to ask her about? We don't know. Those aren't rhetorical questions, they're real questions. Who's the list of over 100 people? Who compiled that list? What was the strategy behind that? What was the criteria for that? For going onto the list of people asked about? Was Donald on the list? So once I had that thought, I was like, oh, that would be an interesting revelation in the room when you're dealing with parties that aren't asking for anything and aren't being promised anything. You are going to learn the intention of your inquisitor based on the questions they ask you. And your inquisitor is going to learn whether or not you play ball based on the answers you give. It's not based on what you know, it's based on what you need to know. And you only figure that out when they start asking you questions. This conversation isn't based on what I actually know. This conversation is based on what they need me to know. And they're already rewriting history of situations. The director of national intelligence is literally rewriting history on what is documented on Russian interference in elections. They're literally rewriting history, and they have the access to do that. They have the access to disappear evidence. They have the access to disappear files. They have the access to disappear testimony. They have the access and ability to be able to do that. So in a perfectly corrupt world, they have the ability to rewrite some history, official, formal, federal history on this situation. And one of the things that I thought was both a, "Why is he doing this?" and then also a, "Oh my god." Donald refuses to not shut up. He keeps saying things about Giuffre as if those are gonna be the last things he needs to say, when in fact what happens is they just spurn more questions from the press. When we talked about this yesterday, one of the things I pointed out that he had said was that he had turned down this phrasing is very interesting and it extends. That he had turned down going to Jeffrey Epstein's island. Then he said, "We broke up. We had a falling out. And we broke up because he was stealing employees from me." That puts Trump in the position of, "I was none the wiser." We had a falling out because he was stealing my staff. Yes, 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 even that girl. Even that girl that died recently and cannot speak for herself. To say what the Mar-a-Lago side of her experience was, even though she already has some testimony we don't have access to. And he knows that. She's dead. We don't have access to her Florida, um what's it called? Grand jury testimony. He knows that. He knows the public's never gonna get it. 'Cause it's grand jury testimony in Florida. So that could be true. We know she came from Mar-a-Lago, but, "Oh, no, she was one of the staff stolen from me." The narrative separation that he gives himself there is pretty powerful. And she's dead. I mean, it could be, but it won't be. The Department of Justice just asked for another grand jury unsealing, and they said no, almost immediately. No. So they are very carefully, very meticulous, very methodically relanguaging this entire situation right in front of everybody's eyes. I don't know if they're gonna be successful at the end of the day, but they are giving it a go. They are giving it a go every day, they are giving it a go. Try and distract you over here with shit that don't matter, language things differently over here, drop new information over here. Nothing thus verifiable or verified. Legal recourse for what? He has yet to be implicated in a crime. If there's no evidence, then there's no legal recourse. No, it won't. That's an assumption of goodwill towards men, and not everybody has that. And here's the thing, people who are participating in this farce believe they're doing a good thing. The only thing that will hang on their conscience is if they fail to protect the president. Because as far as they're concerned, that is their God-given duty. They don't give a shit about the truth. It does not weigh on their conscience. They already made their decision a long time ago. These associations are public, they've been known. Trump's behavior towards women and young women is public and has been known. So don't shit weigh on their conscience unless they fail their dear leader. You can't shame the unshameable. You cannot shame the unshameable. No, I think you picked the right word. I think you picked the right word because people exert way too much fucking energy trying to shame this administration, and they think that that is taking actual action to protect democracy when they're on social media. Look at these buffoons. They don't give a fuck that you're mocking them on social media. They don't care. Means nothing. It's not proportional. It's not a proportional response. If you're gonna be if you wanna be mocky about it, you gotta go lethal, like South Park. It has to be an ongoing campaign. It has to be escalated. Somebody just came up into my spot. Oh, it's Oscar. No. Afro Butterfly, rewording my question, have pardons ever been reversed? No. No. Although they are trying that right now. Donald Trump is trying to undo the pardons that were signed by his digital pen. He's taking it legal. That they don't stand. None of his orders, none of his pardons that he signed through, there's an actual thing. It's a physical thing that has a pen on it that you put documents in and it signs it in the president's hand. So Trump is saying anything signed by that means is not lawful because it wasn't actually signed by the president of the United States. It has a more fancy name, but yes, it's an auto pen. And he's been fighting that fight like since day one. Since day one. He's been fighting that fight. They picked up that fight. So we'll see. But no, pardons don't get undone. He never stops making me sick either, beloved. Did we cover everything? I think we did. We got Diddy. We got this. We got Daystar Biscuit Head. We got Naughtybottoms. We did. Okay. I got something to show y'all. Okay? All right? Here you go. You asked, and I delivered. You asked, and I delivered. How was the sound on that? I put the volume at 50% on that audio because I know it can be really loud. Baby, this just became a thing yesterday. Okay, this just became a thing yesterday. You woman, we went on a tangent as the chat tried to figure out who Apps' Brit is. and I said, this is for the long black goodbye. We're not supposed to be talking about this right now. And you woman, you popped up in the chat and said, we're having a medium black interlude. And then people were like, we need an actual medium black interlude. So we need a graphic of some kind. I said, I'll work it out. Okay, good. So yes, we got the medium black interlude for when it's applicable. You know what? We are deciphered, jumping up out of the shadows. I thought we agreed it's Slick Rick. I almost put together a graphic for the app, but I was like, I might be starting something on the internet I'm not ready for. I was really about to put together a graphic of me and Slick Rick together. Like little heartsies around it and stuff, just to see what it looks like. Maybe I'll do that for the next one since you done started some stuff. That's one of the funniest comments I've ever gotten, and I really appreciate that I got it from a hip hop connoisseur. That made it hit all the better. All the better. We have an official off-topic interlude. Yes, we do. We had another little moment in the medium black interlude that was quite nice. We went right down memory lane. I loved it so much. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. But this was fun.
I felt that Terry and Miles could pay for everything, and then maybe we could pay you all back in installments or something.
Don't you start running that game on me again. What, do you expect me to bail Lem out of jail too?
Now, come on, Terry. Lem doesn't have anything to do with this, okay?
How we can pay for Mama's bills is by selling the big house.
What?
We are not selling the house.
Mama and Daddy saved their whole life for that house, Terry.
We can't even agree on anything as small as Sunday dinners. Nobody's paying for the taxes or the utilities except me. And now we can finally put Uncle Pete in a home like we've been talking about for years.
We are not putting Uncle Pete in a home. Mama would kill us.
You are tripping.
I'm selling the house.
You're not selling the house.
I am the guardian of her estate. That means I make the decisions.
Come on now, Terry, listen to what they're saying, all right? Your mama worked hard to keep that house in the family, for everyone, for you and your
Oh,
family.
fuck the family! The family, I let the family in my house. You know what? The family fucked my husband. Yeah, Faith fucked my husband.
Miles.
Terry,
And what are you going to say, huh?
Terry,
Terry, what?
can we talk about this?
Can we talk about what? Fuck you!
Let it go! Let it go!
Out. I'm so sorry.
Get out!
And
Get the fuck out!
Thank you.
You know, when I clipped that this morning, I actually cried. I actually cried watching that scene. I actually shed a tear. It's real powerful. It's real powerful. It's dramatic, but it's powerful. Terry did nothing wrong. I find no fault. No fault. Mm-mm. Had the nerve, the audacity. You gonna reach out to me? You gonna reach out to me in my worst moment that you caused? That is from the exquisite soul food movie of 1997. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Okay? Okay, you will see Vivica Fox 1.0. I don't know what version she's on now, but that's the original. You can get it for $4 to rent on Amazon or other places. You can get it on YouTube for $4. Yep, I was like, I need to see that scene. I need to see that scene. It's a wonderful movie. It is a wonderful movie. Yeah, yeah. All right, y'all, here we are. Anything else going on? Man, everything that she goes through in that scene, the various waves of emotion are just, because she's type A, wound real tight. And that is her breaking point. When she says, "Oh God," and turns around and grabs her face, and her sisters start crying because they know she is about to break down. You reach out to me, I'm going to grab that arm and drag you. The gall. Are you kidding? It's a movie about a family that indulges in the diet that killed Big Mama to honor Big Mama. You are so fucking brutal. Pre 50 Cent Vivica Fox. Facts. Facts. Pre 50 Cent Vivica A. Fox. But it's a great movie. It is a fantastic movie. I stand by it. I said what I said. But this is so real. Karaoke and vodka. You reach out to me. People were concerned at the filming. Concerned. Oh gosh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I shed a little tear like, wow. Wow. Love to see it. Kiki, my favorite movie of all time has pre 50 Cent Vivica A. Fox. Set it off. Yep. I have all these movies still on DVD from the $5 bin at Walmart because I wanted my kids to watch, everything that I did. I still have that. And a DVD player. A standalone DVD player. I still have one. It's in storage under the stairs, but I still have one. We Are Deciphered. Watching it as an adult hurts deeply. Terry was holding it together. Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of surprised at how quickly I broke down watching that scene. So is Dead Presidents. So is Jason's Lyric. Set it off as sad as fuck. Nate didn't even drive Stoney back home. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I have all those movies. I have Dead Presidents. I have Set It Off. I have all of them. Boys in the Hood. I don't have Baby Boy because fuck that movie. I said what I said. V Ward. I have my DVD player also. Yes. Yeah, I have all of them. All of them. That was a time in Black cinema for real. We got some real gems and jewels. We really did. And they stand the test of time. They really do stand the test of time in their own very special way. We Are Deciphered. I didn't realize she walked home until a couple months ago. And yes, Jody was a war criminal. Woo, Dead Presidents is, man, it's Shakespearean levels of just tragedy upon tragedy upon tragedy. There's another one that I'm thinking of. Which one is it where dude dies at the end covering the kid that Kenny had in the music video? Which movie is that? Or did I name it already and I just haven't put it together? Yeah, I'm old black. We do that. I'm proud of myself for getting the titles of these movies right. Menace to Society. I have that one too. Also fucking tragic. I have Menace to Society. Oh yeah. I'm a good mom. I know it all evened out because when my son was like somewhere between 13 and 15, he himself purchased the autobiography of Malcolm X. I was like, I'm doing something right. We need to have a conversation. When are we rescheduling? We'll have to have, I don't know if we'll do it for our next live, but at some point in time, we'll have to just like have a We'll have to pick like three movies and then just have like a movie discussion live about those movies and like let the people know. Watch those movies. We're going to talk about them in 2 weeks. But I can't remember if I have heard that theory or not. Now I got to pull the damn tub out from underneath and it's in the back. Back. But I might be motivated. I might be motivated to pull that tub out and look at exactly what's in there. I also have a huge book of music CDs, and there's some movies in there as well. I wonder if I transferred any of them from their cases into that book, because the book I think is out somewhere in the house. I'll have to look around. Yay! So you don't mean this Saturday? You mean the Saturday after? This Saturday is the 2nd, and then the following Saturday is the 9th. Let's do it, beautiful. Do you need graphics from me? Okay, I'll send them over in the next 2-4 hours. I love a CD book. Yeah, I got the big one. That zip got a handle on the end. I think it's 8 per sleeve. Mm-hmm. Got all kinds of stuff in there. Locked in. Yes, indeed. Kiki. Ving Rhames played a transgender woman in one movie and a murderer in another. The range go crazy. I love this. Yeah, I love this. I was watching something. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to have to go back and look through my history. I was watching something, and it took me a while to pick him out in the movie because he had hair. I was like, my brother looks real familiar. It was an old movie. I can't remember what it was. We don't play around. We don't play around. Let's see. What have I watched recently? So at the motivation of King Link, who posted in the Discord, hey, has anybody watched Ironheart? I was like, I'm gonna get around to it. The way I was not happy with the ending of season 1. I was like, what the fuck? There were several WTF moments throughout the series. So let me just say this. It is an imperfect show, to be sure. It's an imperfect show. Some of the actors I just don't believe as the character. I just don't believe you. And you know, it is what it is. So is it a perfect show? No, but there's something about it that kept me watching it. It's 6 episodes, I believe. There's something about it that kept me watching it. The end of there were things where I was coming back into the Discord like dropping little hints that King Link would know what I was referring to, but it wouldn't be spoiled for anybody who hadn't seen the show, where I was just bowled over of like, what the fuck just happened? So it kept me engaged. And then it got to the last episode and I was like, I object. I object. What the fuck? So I had that experience. Oh, did you watch it? Did you watch both seasons? We Are Deciphered says, oh, we got to talk about Silo too. I'm so proud of myself for having not brought this show up or books or short stories for several weeks on this channel. Oh, because I'm getting ready to watch Silo again. I need it. I need it again. I don't have time to read the books again. They're very long. But the books are so good. But Silo, if y'all want a show, Silo is my jam. Silo is my jam. And I was hounding people. Watch the show. Oh, I've watched it. I'm all the way up. We Are Deciphered says you should watch Foundation as well. I'm all the way up. Yep, I've watched it. I'm a real sci-fi nerd for real. One of the things that I love about Foundation is it is, no pun, the foundation of every major sci-fi story we've had since. And I think they're doing a wonderful job bringing it to the screen. Silo is crazy good. One of those shows that really keeps your attention. We Are Deciphered. Oh shit, it's chat time. We have much to discuss. Yay! I look forward to the agenda you put together. Eve. I thought each book was one. I thought each season was one book, but 2 seasons deep isn't even through the first book. No. Silo is easily 7 seasons. Easily 7 seasons. I already said no spoilers. The last scene of season 1 of the end of season 1 was so disorienting to me and threw me so hard. So hard. I bought the book that second. That second ebook now. I need this book. There's no way. I was so disoriented I stopped the show because I thought something went wrong with the TV. I was like, I don't understand what just happened. And then once I realized, no, this is it, I was like, there's no fucking way I can wait until season 2. There's just no way. Bought that shit immediately. Immediately. So I highly recommend Silo as books. I highly recommended the show, and the short stories are not the same as the books. The short stories came first, then the books, and the show. And the order for me was season 1 show, all the books, season 2 show, and then short stories. And the short stories are riveting. They're so good. Oh, so yes, I've read it. I've read and seen everything Silo related, and I can't wait for season 3. I do this too, and I highly recommend people do this. Highly recommend people do this. I don't stay with, well, I'll say, I think besides Amazon Prime, Disney Plus might be one of my longest running uninterrupted subscriptions because they have so much that I want to see, and they have a lot of just wonderful nostalgic stuff that you can just put on. It just feels like it's funny because they went from being the crappiest streaming service with no catalog to a fantastic catalog. So I really dig them. I've been off of Netflix for a minute, and I'm not going to go back until they get into the ending half of the last season of Stranger Things. Just because I know my son is going to harass the hell out of me to watch it. So I'll do that. And then at that point in time, catch up on anything else there that I want to see. And then I'll dip. I will have Netflix for a month, and that's it. So that's also part of my strategy is I wait for episodes to build up on a streaming service, and then I tap in so that I can maximize it and then dip right back out. But you get a good variety that way. No, Silo is on Apple TV, and I don't know if y'all know this, but you can get Apple TV without having any Apple products. So you can get it through Amazon. You can get it as a one-off. You can just go on your browser and get it as a one-off. So, and it's got some really, really great content. And Silo is definitely where I would start. I had a list of like top 10 things on Apple TV that I gave to a friend of mine, and probably most, if not all of it, was sci-fi related. And Silo, top of the list. Some phone service carriers offer a year for free, so do your research. You'll be able to find something that is reasonable. And again, because all the episodes are there, there's 2 seasons there. So I think it's like $9.99 a month. You can get in and get out if you want to. If you're dedicated to it and you're like, I'm gonna watch an episode a night, you'll get through it, and then you can dip back out. But you'll probably find a couple other things on there. So it might be a 2, maybe 3-month subscription for you, and then dip out and then come back, 6 months from now, see what else they got. I've definitely been rotating. Keeps it more affordable as well. I like the diversity of streaming, but it's you can't just have everything. That shit is expensive. So, yeah. And then I watched Silo, Dark Matter, Tehran, Foundation for starters. I endorse all of this. Very, very good. I think one of the best shows that I've watched about strategy, and this is not on Apple, but I talked about it recently because I was surprised. Really surprised. Is Lioness with Zoe Saldana. And everybody on here knows I can't stand that broad. I can't stand her, and I've never believed her as an actress in anything. So what had happened was I was scrolling on Instagram, as I am, want to do, because I keep it curated really well. So it's not stressful for me at all. It's perfect escapism. And a clip came up from a season 2 episode that I immediately went to the internet because I was like, I want to see an extended clip of this scene. And I watched it probably 5, 6, 7 times, just one clip of a scene. And I was fucking riveted. And I was immediately annoyed because I was like, I think I really want to watch this damn show. So I did. I had went ahead and said, it's either on HBO or Paramount Plus or something, but I went ahead and said, I'm going to do this. I got a discount during Prime Week. And it is exceptional television. And I believe her 10 toes down. I believe her. I believe Nicole Kidman. It is one of the best shows about strategy overall. That's not what I don't know if they would describe the show as being about strategy, but objectively, it's one of the best shows that I've ever seen about strategy. It's one of the best shows that I've ever seen about geopolitics and conflict. For me, it blows Homeland out of the water because Homeland was absurd. Homeland past season 1 was absurd. But yeah, I went back and watched a couple episodes one off after I finished both seasons, just to sit there and just be like, God damn, this is really, really good television. Really, really good television. Where she's got blood from here down. I was like, I didn't recognize her at first. And she's screaming and yelling, not even screaming, she's yelling. J-Lo, for sure. On site. Slipper to the head. Oh man, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And she said, you better watch what the fuck you say out of your mouth next, because I was like, I'm in. I am in. I was sold off of that scene alone. She said, "You better watch what comes out of your fucking mouth next," because I am. I was like, "Me too. Me too. I am too." That is me energy up and down. Up and down. So highly recommend that. And then I also watched, believe it or not, I also watched the documentary series on Ruby Frankie. It's 3 episodes of oh my god. Oh my god. It's riveting and terrifying and sickening on many different levels. Because I'm not a content creator and I don't, you don't follow me through my life. I've never seen the back end of what that is when when you vlog your family every day. Like her outtakes and her setups and her closings and her trying to film something and then stopping and screaming at her children or being upset with her husband. And it goes through everything. It goes through everything. And the person I'm most disgusted with is the husband. The husband. But I bring it up because I think that it's extremely informative because it does peel back the veil of what's really happening in a circumstance behind the camera of people who engage in this kind of content. It breaks the facade. And I think the other thing that it does is that, if you believe in protecting your backyard and having a safe community and a safe society, there are lots of states right now that are taking up the issue of children in content. And if you vote, these are issues that you should pay attention to. And it made me think about that straight off the bat of, well, if a referendum ever hits the ballot here, and I would have voted for it anyway, but I will vote for it with gusto. With gusto. I would have voted for it anyway, but I would vote for it with gusto, having watched that documentary, that children's rights need to be protected. Someday. He's in the thing. So. All right, y'all. I got to jump because I got 2 fur babies waiting for me and I got to get to a meeting that I'm actually late for. So it was good to hang out with you. I will see y'all soon. Yes, we're all still waiting for the thing. We're all still waiting for the thing. But we're spending good time together. We're spending good time together while we wait and suffer together. I'll see you soon. Peace.